Hey, it's Renee in Montana. So this just happened. This just in. My Facebook account has been hacked. So I actually had done a pretty recent password update, and it was a more complicated password than I'd used before. But the hackers got in through an old email account. So here's the thing. Right now we all just need to go back through and clean up any of the breadcrumb trails that we've left behind, and I don't exactly know how to do this in the most efficient and effective way. Excuse me. I don't want This is consuming a shit ton of time, and I feel like we are like I think the way that Facebook sees it is that we're users of the platform that they're building however they want to build the platform. And therefore, we're like guests in their house, right? And any breadcrumbs we leave around the house is what we get to. It's fair game, right? They're not in the business of protecting your information. Only you can do that. And getting the getting it all cleaned up and battening down the hatches, I'm going to share with you the process that I'm going through as I go through it. Jeez, I'm like, no wonder I can't see out my freaking glasses. I feel like focused, but I also don't want to deal with Facebook consuming more time than they already have. And that goes for any of the other platforms as well. I'm over it. So I said that this was going to lead to launching the Existential-17 Project, which I've been talking about. You know, when you're doing a creative work, it's hard to tell when it starts and how it starts. And sometimes it's an impetus like this. So then I can go, well, thank you, Facebook, for giving me the opportunity to finally, because in 48 hours, hopefully I'll have access back to Facebook. In the meantime, apparently, they've got some kind of freaking stick to send out to my phone. I mean, they didn't ask for an address, but I'm waiting on that. Oh God, I'm all over the place. Back to Existential 17. So this would be all the lessons learned and wisdom earned. My mom, God rest her soul, Rita, my mom Rita and her mom Rita, Grandma Rita. Grandma Rita outlived my mom Rita. And I said that I would never have the tone of voice and anger that those two had, resentment. And I've been doing a lot of work around anxiety. And here's the thing that I would want my 17-year-old to know. That and I did a lot of this work, but I didn't follow it all the way through, which of course, in your 20s and your 30s, you think that you got it all figured out. I'm sure I think I have tons figured out now here, sitting here at 48. I'm putting it all out there, you know. I've been doing this inner child work, and I'm feeling like it just here is my inner 6-year-old who was the Buddha, and here's my 17-year-old who is who was at that time, who is me, a rock star in her own right. And going back and reconciling, where things went off the rails and not having have to consume my whole life to do this work. That's the gift that I would give the 17-year-old. So if I would have become a mom when my mom became a mom, my kid would be 25 right now. And so I'm interested in this window, this 10-year window between the age of 15 and 25, and how I would have prepared the 15-year-old, the 17-year-old, the 22-year-old, the 23-year-old. 23, I think, is when my mom died, to 25. And just cover this period of time, this 10-year window. Because if I would have had access to the people and knowledge that I've met on Clubhouse in particular. Now, there's been amazing people all along the way that I absolutely want to bring to the fore as well. But immediately, the people who raised their hands, stepped up, stepped out, and said, I have something to say. This is important information. I've done a ton of work myself, and now I have this information to share. Those people have shown up on Clubhouse during the last 2 years. And I've had the blessing to get to know some of them more intimately than others, in the sense of, like, I just got off of a Clubhouse room that I put together. And so here's my offer right now. If you give me your email address, I will send you the Clubhouse audio. And I'm going to try to figure out how to get it uploaded to Circle or to a podcast platform. I'm piecing this together, a work in progress. I have tons of work already done. And now it's deconstructing it. So that is what Existential-17, the next month of my life before the county fair season starts, of which I'm going to have my ducks in a row, mostly, to go out on the road to meet the people of Montana and find the jewels and hidden gems. That's what I'm doing for the Montana-thon. But in the meantime, me and my inner child, my inner children, my 6-year-old and my 17-year-old and my 17-year-old to my 25-year-old, my 15-year-old to my 25-year-old, we're all coming home to this body. And that's part of the practice, is inviting you back to you, because something happened for most of us who are dealing with anxiety, or I'm not going to get into it in the way that my mentor, Russell Kennedy, does, Dr. Russell Kennedy, because he's the expert, he's the neuroscientist. But I will say that, at least for anxiety, something happened in our past, and it shattered, first of all, and then scattered parts of ourselves that we have to call back home. When I say home, I'm like, and home, and home, and home, and home, and home, and home, and home. We have to call back to ourselves. And I just went to the mountains, and I sat on a hill with shooting stars, which are my favorite. They're this beautiful magenta flower. I think I'm going to go get some photographs of them. Sat on the hill with the shooting stars and the arrow leaf balsam root that wasn't fully in flower. I even saw a fairy slipper, a lady slipper, and some great mushrooms. Yeah. And I did a meditation. It was like I was called there. And I crossed I was sitting on the ground, and out loud. So I don't know, wherever you are in the world, you may not have the opportunity to go sit in a place, in a space where you really can talk loudly, call out, beseech, calling in the parts of ourselves that have been lost. We think they're lost. They're shattered and scattered. They're not lost. They'll come home. But you have to ask them to come home. You have to invite them to come home. And then you have to be willing to sit with them. So what happened for me in this meditation, and I invite you to consider, is that I felt my 6-year-old come, sit next to me, arm to arm. And then 17 showed up. Because the thing is, they don't want to be lost and out there alone. And they feel like you've abandoned them. Those parts of ourselves that are kind of locked in to their to an age and time. And we have to just first of all understand that those parts of yourself, they don't want to be alone. But right now, they don't trust you, and they don't trust anything because they got locked out and left back there at an age where a trauma happened. Big T, little t doesn't matter. Trauma is trauma. It still resonates through the nervous system the same way. And so we have to create a secure enough space within ourselves. And for me, going out in nature helps me to get in touch with that part of myself that does trust me, that knows how many beautiful programs and teachers and mentors that I've had the great gift of being able to be in presence with, and that all of that also lives in this body. And so that I can invite 17 back and say, you know what? You got left back there at 17, but let me tell you about all the cool stuff that we've done to get here to 48, where we still don't exactly know how this is going to play out, but the puzzle pieces are coming together in such a way that we see a light at the end of the tunnel with our life, and opening a new beginning. And with any new beginning, there's always an ending. When the baby bursts into the world, into the physical world through the birth canal, that's not an easy process for the, oh, thank you. Here we go. iCloud, you're trying to be so helpful. You're like sending these pop-ups. Yeah, you too, Microsoft, start. I didn't ask any of you to jump up. This is the thing. We're run and ruled, and anyone like me. So I did this good nervous system work earlier in the day, and because of just my whole life experience, it wasn't helpful that my Facebook system failed in a way, because the other thing that's come out of it is that there's a guy named Giovanni, and he ended up on my stage accidentally. And I said, this is like where God steps in. I feel like Clubhouse has like helped me to connect with people that are the right puzzle piece that I wouldn't have gone looking for on my own. And that we met, who knows back in what room when, but we recognize each other, and we're like, and I put like, I was like, help, my Facebook account has been hacked. I'm super pissed, something like that. And he wasn't planning on coming into that room. It just so happened that Clubhouse just sent him like into there. And he sat with me on the other end while I raged for a minute, calmly. This is the good note is that I'm more able to keep my cool when I'm pissed about something, so that you don't see how the energy is just shooting through my body. I'm like, ah, I want to, if I had a Facebook, that would be this is good for your branding, Facebook, is if we had punching bags with Facebook on it, and we could just go beat the shit out of the punching bags when shit like this happens. That's how I feel about it. That's because it sucks, because and I said I've lost faith in them. Now here's 17. You're going to collect a bunch of information on Facebook, and somewhere down the road, you're going to have to figure out how to get it off or abandon it, which is not a good idea. It's way smarter to just deactivate the account. And yeah, so that's kind of, but I want my information because I've been building up a case for the theater. Um, I think maybe not a one woman show, but maybe, I don't know. I think there could be multiple players in it, but that they could be folks who like step into the role on the tour, perhaps. I don't know exactly how that's going to go. But a long time ago, I knew this day was coming. I did not know what it would look like, but I know what it feels like in my body, and I'm just done. So in probably the next 30 days, that's going to be my goal. In the next 30 days, I'm going to figure out how to extract myself from Facebook because, quite honestly, right now, I think I should get a letter from Facebook saying, "We deeply apologize for the fact that your Facebook account was hacked. We're doing a piss poor job at protecting your information and keeping it confidential and out and not in the hands of hackers." Of course, they'll come back and say, "Well, the last time that you changed your Facebook password and it is your fault ultimately." Whatevs. That's why I just don't want to play anymore. Or rather, there's people on Facebook that need my help. So instead of allowing you in my personal life, Facebook, I'll just sell advertising on your platform and buy my way out. That's to me the better goal. For the low, low price of $36,000 a year, you too can buy your way out of Facebook world. If you do it according to the experts, you just pay for advertising, fuck organic, and social media. You have to take pleasure on it. And quite honestly, I feel like if I actually got to go back through the algorithm, and I know that there are some people who know how to do this, it'd be fascinating to have an expert or some experts go back through my data and see how good organic works because I've written some pretty awesome content. Now, I personally, I just don't think people are seeing it. And so are receiving the messages. I have no proof of it because I don't know how to maneuver the back end of it. And this is not, let's teach Renee how to do it. I don't give a shit. I'm not spending any more time on Facebook if I can, if I can help it. And that means that I have to, what this is, take 30 days and extract myself, extract my attention from the platform. And I don't, you know, people who've inspired me to be to invite them to be friends or for me to follow them, there was a reason. We were either friends from childhood or we were, you were doing something that was interesting to me. But now it's like, I don't even think that you see organically what I'm posting. I don't think I see, but maybe I have no tiny percent, like under 30% probably. Under 30%. It could be as horrible as single digits, could be 8%. See the posts that I put out. And I can go, well, I just didn't know how to write proper copy for Facebook posts. When we chase vanity metrics being like, well, the influencers are getting like this many likes. All that does is make me chase vanity metrics. And vanity metrics, any expert who's outside of the influencer world will say that it's horseshit. And I mean, without fully understanding it intuitively, experientially, I tend to agree. Again, I would love to do this experiment. So if you know anybody out there who knows about Facebook, please, and how to extract this algorithmic information, by all means, send them my direction. And the other thing is, how do we come up with $36,000? Because that's what, it's like $30 a day. So, oh, I might have done this wrong. I'm pretty sure I did this wrong because I was thinking $3,000 a month, but it might only be 900. $30 a day, 30 days, yeah, 900. So 12 months, 10,800. That's way better than 36,000. So why did I? Probably somebody somewhere said, if you just max out at $3,000 a month, you'll know that it all freaking works. Okay, good. If that's what the game is, then 36,000, or maybe it's 36,000 after you pay the experts. Let's just say that 36,000 gets you the experts. They should be at the very least be able to 3x what the money that you put in. So not 10,000, that's a $30,000 job. So 36,000 with a bonus of 6,000 if you hit the goal sooner rather than later. Like, how fast can you hit the goal? Because I don't fucking want to deal with Facebook anymore. I just want to get my content off of there so that I can start piecing it together as the show. In the meantime, that's not going to happen until 2023 at the very least, because what I have to focus on right now is Montanathon. And I'm going to leave links in below. One where you can get that free Facebook conversation, because Giovanni's freaking rock star in the virtual assistants. It's not even that. It's something else. He's a rock star. And I'm really excited to get to work with him. So he's out of Spain. He has a really fun, cool life. And kids. And it was a great conversation. It's super fun. Come and listen to that, because then you're going to get to know me. You're going to get to know Giovanni, my real fiery self. And you'll get to hear what somebody who's being present with someone who's kind of losing their shit because they just got bad news. And small t trauma, it made my whole nervous system flush. It made me so mad that I got here, came to do a live stream on YouTube because that's how pissed I am. And at some point, all of it's bullshit. We want it all to work together. And I've been trying to figure out what my YouTube purpose and presence is. Well, here's what it is. I'm going to share my Existential-17 journey here. Hopefully, I'm going to figure out how to do it through Restream or another one of those companies and get that stuff set up, because I don't want to go from platform to platform to platform. I only want to do it once and have it go out into the world, because I'm not the only person who's fucking tired of Facebook yanking us around and all the tools that they give us. And some people love them and enjoy them. More power to you. I hope that you make a shit ton of money doing what you love. But if you burn out someday and you want to get rid of this bullshit, like doing the little monkey dance, and you want to get it streamlined, that's what we're figuring out right now. This would be like, I'm advising my 17-year-old on this program, like the technical side of it, because people our young people who like working with the technology tools to be able to just do this for them. So I'm going to stumble and fumble through this process. You get to come along on the journey. In the meantime, I'm going through all my paperwork in 30 days because I don't want to carry it with me anymore. And it's not actually helpful. There's ideas. There's $1 million ideas in my filing cabinets. In my filing cabinet. In my computer as a filing cabinet,